coming to you from the Heinz Endowment today. I'm speaking with the president of the Heinz Endowment, Bobby Vogt, and he's graciously agreed to tell me his story about interacting with Joyce Rothermel over the years. Can you tell me exactly in what capacities you've been around Joyce and how long you've known her?
The fact of the matter is that while I've only known her for about 4 years, the endowments she has engaged the endowments for almost since the beginning. The fact of the matter is we have been privileged to be a piece of what it is she has done for people in alleviating hunger around this county for a long time.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say is what you think when you first meet Joyce or when you get to know her?
You know, there's a conflicting image of her, because on the one hand, she's the epitome of compassion. It's obvious that she cares very deeply about those who are food insecure, and she's compassionate and committed. On the other hand, it's very clear she is hard as steel when it comes to what she will do in order to make sure that people have food. And so it's a wonderful combination of personality traits that make her so effective and have made her so effective lo these many years.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me any things that she's done to make an impact on the community?
Yeah, we don't have enough time, and there's not enough digits on that recording machine. But I do think there's some things that are a couple that I'd pick out, and one in particular, and that is that while she has been all about providing food for those who are hungry, the truth of the matter is just food wasn't enough. It's not about somebody's seconds or stuff that is adequate, because just adequate has never been her motto. It's the very best we can. And an example of that is the farm stand project. Here you have all this talk about how good it is for people to eat organic foods, to have fresh grown foods available to them. And for most, particularly lower income folks who are worried about their food, that's not a possibility. But by gum, she was not going to let that not be a part of the diets of those who are hungry. And so she created, with help, this farm stand program where there are 8 or 10 around this area. Farm stands that people can go to. They can even use their food stamps and have access to the very same food anyone else can have. And I think that's a standard that she's maintained throughout her career, which is nothing but the very best. This isn't about this isn't about leftovers. This is about first rate.
It is. And we had talked earlier a little bit about some of the new things that Joyce has done and created as part of the food bank, and we talked about the new initiative. Can you tell me a little more?
Yes, I think when you think, and it's hard to think about Joyce leaving, and you say, gee, what is it that would mark her tenure here in a way better than anything else? It would be to continue something that just started, and that is this effort spearheaded by her and what she's done for 30 years of saying, we can do something substantial about hunger. And so a 12-county area has banded together and said, we're going to reduce hunger by 50%, at least 50%, over the course of the next 5 years. A heroic thing for her to do, because, she understands that to provide health care for everybody is a very complicated process, and you might not be able to promise that. To provide adequate public education is a very difficult issue. You might not be able to promise this. But she knows good and well that we have the food and we have the rudiments of a distribution network which would actually allow us to make certain that no one in this region is hungry. And so I think a great testimony to what she's done so far would be to be able to carry out that vision over the course of the next 5 years.
Yes. Do you have any stories that you can share on ways that she's maybe impacted your personal life or professional life or this organization?
Well, I know that the Heinz Endowment in and of itself is not a particularly large organization, so I'm not sure this will rank high, relatively speaking. But the fact of the matter is that she has come and visited and made presentations and has changed one behavior around here, and that is typically at Christmas time and the holiday season. Now, we would all up here go out and to a nice lunch or dinner, and the Heinz Endowments would be the Christmas treat. And after hearing her at one point, the question came up, why don't we have a potluck? Everybody bring something to eat. We'll enjoy each other's company, and then the Heinz Endowments will send what would have been spent on this meal to the food bank. And I tell you, it became this is not so much about patting us on the back as patting her on the back for what she inspires other people to do, the generosity. And so to this day, we've been doing this and feeling very happy about doing so. And we always get a thank you note from her, with a note saying, thank you for your kindness and your generosity, when in fact we ought to be sending the note to her.
That's a lovely story. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about Joyce?
Well, I just think that while we look at her and we think of her as someone who has been committed to helping people who are hungry, I think we can't ever lose sight of her as an inspirational figure too, because I think she is proof positive that if in fact we are passionate about something and compassionate, we can move the mountains, because that's exactly what she has done for 30 years.
Thank you so much for meeting with me.
Glad to do so.